Matt, do you know what's better than adventurers unwrapping presents? Presents unwrapping adventurers.
Want some fun holiday monsters to throw at your adventurers? Then stick around as we discuss holiday horrors.
That's how we roll. 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 That's how we roll.
Welcome to the Goblins Corner. My name is Eric.
And I'm Matt.
And tonight,
We discuss holiday horrors.
that's right, it's getting to be the holiday season, and we thought, what better way to show our appreciation to everybody that listens to the show than to throw some horrible holiday monsters for you to use in your campaign of choice.
Indeed.
And so tonight, we've got 6 awesome monsters that are diabolical for all holiday seasons, by the way, not just Christmas or anything else.
Indeed.
But before we get to all of that, if you haven't, hit the like and subscribe button. Help us get our show out to more people and get notified when more awesome episodes come your way.
And if you're listening to the show, give us a review on iTunes or Podchaser.
We would like that
Indeed.
all the time. Now, we've got some holiday horrors. Now, Matt, what do we mean when we say holiday horrors? Because it's not our normal, ridiculous, ludicrous bestiary.
Right. This is the special ridiculous bestiary.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we're talking about basically mythic cryptids that are holiday themed, like Krampus or any other creature that is associated with a particular holiday.
Absolutely. And we mentioned, doesn't have to be Christmas oriented or Thanksgiving oriented. This can be any holiday during the year. And from the monsters that we've come up with, we've got different holidays throughout the year.
Yeah. Now, we did hit a harvest style one and a winter style one.
Sure.
And then we went off the rails.
Yeah. Now, fair warning, these are awful monsters. These are just awful, awful monsters. We purposely did not put the CR or major power levels, and we have only given suggested abilities because if you want to throw this at a low-level campaign, all of these, with the exception probably of the Void Worm, we would be okay with.
Sure.
And even that could be a harbinger of maybe something later to come when they get to be 15th, 20th level.
Indeed. Could be how you start a post-apocalyptic campaign.
I mean, got to jump right into the action on that one, and I'm fine with that too. But these are all really awesome monsters. We're pretty proud of them, and they're funny as well.
Some of them are just awful.
I laugh regardless of whether they're funny or not. So we got 6 monsters. They're the typical type of stuff that we normally have. So we've got a description, but we also have the holiday represented because that makes sense.
Sure.
We've got what, Matt?
We got some stats and behaviors, but also story options and the moral. Because a lot of the holiday cryptids are based off of morals or ideals.
And these are loose morals because we're loose moral people.
Sure.
All right, let's bring on the monsters. And what better way to start this off than what I consider to be a fall festival style monster?
Sure.
Matt, you've got the first one. Tell me about the Gorger.
It is also known as the hibernating horror. The holiday would be any sort of harvest festival, Thanksgiving, that sort of theme idea.
When they're like threshing wheat or grabbing
Big
pumpkins.
feasts
Yeah. Big feast, big harvest time, getting ready for winter, right?
Yep. The description is, out of the fields comes a horrid creature composed of a bear's body, a belly which has a giant frog mouth, bat wings, legs shaped like frog legs, but clawed like a bear's, fluffy squirrel tail, and a bear-sized squirrel head with bat ears.
I love the addition of the floofy squirrel tail in it. So it's a bear, it's frog, it's a bat, it's a squirrel. Am I missing anything?
No, they're all hibernating creatures.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes perfect sense then.
And if you wanted to flavor it, if the audience wanted to flavor their own, just pick a bunch of hibernating creatures, toss them in a blender, and tell us what comes out.
Call it a day, right?
Indeed.
Okay, so this hibernating horror, I love the addition, by the way, of the belly being a frog mouth. Does that mean the tongue kind of flips out of its belly?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely nasty.
You got to.
You're harvesting something, and in the cornfields, you see this just disturbance popping out, and you're like, oh my God, run! And it just sticks out its tongue from like 15 feet away and drags you into its belly.
And I definitely see like the Pac-Man frog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the ambush frog as opposed to like a bullfrog.
Yep.
Absolutely. So talk to me about its stats. What do we got here?
It's a pretty simple kind of critter, right? It flies, so it has a strafe-style claw attack,
Okay.
or like a flyby attack, if you will. It can claw, bite, and then frogmouth,
Yeah.
which is basically an engulf attack,
Mhm.
is how I see. The tongue comes out, lashes you, and then
You can see some bludgeoning, chomping, or acid damage maybe while you're in the gullet.
indeed. This thing can 100% climb trees, or anything else for that matter.
can
It's
fly
part
too,
squirrel, it's part bear. It could fly. Yeah.
There's no escaping this thing is what you're saying,
Exactly.
which I think is a great, what a great thematic, right? Like you can't fly away. You can't hide behind a door because it'll just maul it down.
Sure.
You can't run from it.
Wall of stone is the only answer.
Pretty much disintegrate.
It stores body parts in its cute little squirrel cheeks.
Just like nuts.
Yep. Just
That's so great. I love. So basically, its stats is it mauls the out of things.
and eats. Yeah. If
Okay.
it's not currently attacking a creature, then it is eating whatever is edible nearby.
It's pretty straight and simple. What's the ecology or story behind the Gorger?
It's only seen during harvest to come and eat voraciously. The Gorger feasts on both man and field. It only eats once a year and then hibernates.
So it eats your crops too.
Yes.
That's bad times all around. It's kind of like a mini version of the Tarrasque.
Kinda. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, except with wings. Floofy squirrel tail. What's the moral behind all of this?
The concept of this creature is the story of the creature keeps people on their toes during harvest in case of raids or attacks or etc. Right? The whole story of it is to keep people aware of their surroundings because this is a bad time of year to get raided.
Yeah, because you've brought in your crops.
There go your winter
guard.
stores. Yeah.
Best be on your guard, or the Gorger will get you. Open up his belly, and frog-like tongue will come out and drag you under. Never see you again, and then it'll eat your pumpkins.
Bad days.
Bad days all around. Yeah, so that's the Gorger, huh?
Indeed. So let's move along to the next holiday season with the gift mimic.
Yes, which I like to say in a phrase: season's eatings.
Sure.
Obviously, it is a Christmas analog monster, although you can do
Any gift giving.
yeah. Festivus for the rest of us, Yo Saturnalia, Robot Santa Day, if you are subscribed to the Futurama. But whatever end of the year gift giving holiday applies to the gift mimic. The description is: as you gather with your family, friends, and fellow adventurers to pass out end of the year presents, you spot one extra one in the back of the pile. How delightful! It's for your paladin, and it seems quite heavy for its size. You smile and present the package to the holy warrior as the bow uncurls and wraps around his throat. Every kill begins with K.
I love it. What are the stats on this ludicrous thing?
Surprise, it's a mimic. It's a mimic.
Sure.
Now, there are a couple of differences with this mimic because it's a specifically evolved mimic. But for the most part, use base stats of the mimic. The gift mimic, as per the name, can look and feel exactly like any other present out of the bunch. Additionally, it exudes a pheromone, which can either be a will or a con save, appropriate to your game, which compels those touching the mimic to present it to their loved ones.
Okay.
So you see the present, you touch it, it exudes a pheromone. You're like, I got to give it to the person I love the most. A more insidious gift mimic also exists, which we call greater gift mimics, which can modify memory, it just requires a will save, for up to 2 minutes. So the idea is
it takes a bite out of somebody or starts eating somebody, modifies everybody's memory, and then moves on to the next one.
Yeah. Wonder where Bill went. Why is there blood on the floor? Hey, look, a gift.
Yep. I'm going to go on record as saying this pheromone probably smells like ginger and cinnamon and nut. It smells like baking spices.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's definitely like pumpkin spice latte or something like that.
Sure.
A little peppermint maybe in there.
Yeah, that would work as well.
How delightful.
Yeah, some chocolate.
100%.
What's the ecology or story of this?
A bizarre offshoot of the traditional dungeon-dwelling mimic. These creatures have adapted to lurking in gift shops, malls, and Toys for Tot drives.
Well, that's not good.
No. And the moral? Don't look a gift in the mouth.
I like it.
Yeah. So that's That's the gift mimic. Very simple, right? It's just a mimic, but modified for your taste. And remember, this is totally appropriate, right? You can modify existing creatures. In fact, when we were talking about custom monsters back way up in, 52?
Yeah, in that
50,
area.
In that range. This was part of it, right? All right, so the next one up is the Falkley.
Indeed.
Tell me about the Falkley.
Where the holiday is going to be like a Founders Day, an Independence Day, anything in that vein.
Oh, so like Guy Fawkes,
Yeah.
Falkley. Okay,
Yeah.
now it makes more sense to me.
Yeah, I was keeping it subtle.
Uh-huh. Give me the description of this thing.
The description is this. Falkley are a race of shape-changing telepaths whose sole purpose is to sow dissent, foment rebellion, and instigate violence. In their base form, which is usually only seen on the home plane of Limbo, they appear to be small, constantly shifting humanoids.
So these constantly shifting humanoids, are they like moving around like really fast, or is it maybe like their ear starts to maybe drift across their face?
I like to think of it like it depends on their mood.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they're very excited, then it happens faster. And if they're just chilled, then all of their appearances just kind of slowly move around or change color or size or what have you.
Yeah, I love that. It's a great idea.
And the fact that they can change their appearance in such a way leads some scholars to theorize that perhaps they are some offshoot of doppelgangers.
Oh, that makes sense,
Mhm.
right? It's like a slod doppelganger kind of mix. What are some stats behind the Falkley?
They have permanent detect thoughts up. They also have alter self as a permanent and innate ability.
Okay, so again, like a doppelganger.
Indeed. For their skills, they have expertise in persuasion, intimidation, deception, and insight.
So they can foment rebellion, perhaps?
Indeed.
Okay.
They have 5 class levels, and because they're from Limbo, pick a class, pick any combination of classes. You got 5 levels to play with.
Yeah.
As a DM, you can either specialize, super specialize this guy, or just give him a wide, or her, it, realistically, they could be whatever they want to be. Give them a wide range of options. Now, they also get suggestion once per day.
Oh, so they could suggest rebellion to other people. Very good.
They get freedom of movement once per long rest. So if they get caught, they don't get caught.
Can't stop the signal, brother. Let me tell you.
They also get Misty Step 3 times per long rest.
So they're the perfect rebel.
Yes.
This is great. What kind of story do they have behind the Falkley?
It is theorized that Falkley are spawned from Limbo in a similar manner to demons from the lower planes. Like they just
Pop up.
When the Falkley make their way to the prime material plane, they find countries, kingdoms, even empires that have existed stably for long lengths of time and proceed to embark on a campaign of destabilization.
Yeah, they're ready to it up, man. Bring it down.
So basically, if Slot are the embodiment of the gratification of immediate chaos, Falkley are the creatures that lay siege to bureaucracy and stability.
They're going to mess up this DMV one brick at a time to slowly rearrange it over the course of years.
Just stealing paperwork as they go. They have no care if it's a tyrant or a benevolent council. Law is the enemy. They are not morally attuned. It is law that's the enemy.
I love this.
They basically simply blend into the populace and start planting the seeds of rebellion. And then they use their skills to stockpile various materials to help the rebellion before skipping out as soon as the hostilities actually blossom into full-blown combat. And then they start somewhere else.
I think it would be interesting if they had a penchant for wearing masks. Maybe not Guy Fawkes mask. That's a little too close to the nose, but maybe just some blank. What is it, the theater mask would be funny?
Comedy and tragedy.
They would also be great vigilantes.
Well, sure.
Think about it, because they're for, now you think, wait a minute, but most vigilantes are on the side of the law. But
no, they're not.
They're against the law, because otherwise they would help the police.
Right.
So imagine a caped crusader in a D&D campaign being one of the Falkley, and the whole reason he is helping save people from criminals is to make the police look bad so that people will rise up against the police, and then he becomes a villain.
Sure.
Because he doesn't care which way it is.
Right.
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, that's one of the things that you have to do, right, is make people not trust the government to do its job.
Yep. All right, so what's the moral behind this?
The moral of the city is that vigilance is what breeds stability, right? If there's someone going around like slowly planting these seeds, you got to keep an eye on them. You got to make sure that they're not able to flourish anywhere.
Gotcha. That's pretty cool. So that's the Falkley, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Moving on from the Falkley, we have what, Matt?
The question of the week.
All right. Is it holiday horror related?
It is indeed.
Excellent. What kind of holiday horrors do we have for the question of the week this time?
If you had a holiday-themed breath weapon, what would it be?
Oh, there's so many to choose from. A holiday-themed breath weapon. I would do my first choice would be a peppermint schnapps breath weapon, which does alcohol damage, but I can also light it on fire. But it smells great. The room smells awesome. It smells just like peppermint candy.
Sure.
Until you explode. And then the second one would most likely have to be a bourbon or whiskey breath weapon for St. Paddy's Day, but it would be green, and it would also be able to light it on fire.
All right.
What about you?
Well, you and I were very much in the same vein.
Booze-related breath weapons?
I was thinking a cone of intoxication.
It certainly would. If you breathed in the breath weapon, it would definitely be intoxication damage.
Indeed.
Because it would be intoxicating and damaging your liver.
Well, so in 5th edition, the poisoned condition is that you do everything at disadvantage, basically.
Sure.
Okay, so that's basically being pissed drunk.
Yeah.
So it's literally just a cone of inebriation.
Is that what you would have as well?
I think so.
I think that's good, but I think we can explore different holidays even better. Like, for example, we could do a Thanksgiving breath weapon.
Okay.
Now, we already had a bread dragon.
Sure.
Which shoots garlic butter.
Garlic butter, yeah.
Hot garlic butter. But I think it would be funny to do one where maybe it shoots, I don't know, candied yams at somebody.
I was thinking gravy.
Gravy, yeah. Gravy breath weapon. Oh, that'd be awesome. I love gravy. I'm getting hungry now. Mashed potato breath weapon. Think about that. Scalding mashed potatoes, and then it calcifies and it's rock hard.
Sure. I think the gravy breath weapon would be both flaming damage just because it's very hot, but it also acts as a grease spell. Because if you've ever spilled gravy on a floor, it's ice skating time.
Yeah.
Until you clean it up.
That's bad times right there. Yeah. It would also be amusing to have kind of like a fireworks breath weapon for like the 4th of July.
Sure. Or for New Year's. That'd be for a fireworks breath weapon.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of different breath weapons available for the holidays.
Arbor Day is a splinter breath. It's literally just a hail of splinters.
Or the scent of pine. That'd be delightful as well. Oh, yeah. Yeah, every room would smell great, like pine sol. I'm interested to hear what your holiday breath weapon would be. Hit us up at Goblin's Corner on Twitter, and of course you can find us on all the social media channels, including Mastodon now.
Indeed.
All right. We've got 3 more monsters coming up, and I think mine's the next one, correct?
It is indeed. You're going to have to tell us about the Veggie Rabbit.
Yes, the Veggie Rabbit. Well, it's pretty much what's on the tin. It's a Veggie Rabbit, but there's a little bit more to this. So first off, the holiday is spring festivals. So it could be any spring festival that you like.
Sure.
And it's a rabbit, so you kind of think fertility type stuff, right? With a twist. The description is, this small rabbit-like creature is both cute and the harbinger of the vernal equinox.
Okay.
When it arrives into the prime material plane, flowers bloom, trees bud, animals get pregnant, and people too. Left for too long, civilizations become overgrown with foliage and quickly are swallowed by the wilds.
Okay.
Got dark real quick.
So it's like speed renewal.
Yes, very on the nose on that one.
All right. So what are the stats of the Veggie Bunny?
Well, it's a Veggie Bunny. So first off, it can multiply.
Okay.
Like every good bunny does.
Sure.
They can multiply. But this one multiplies like a tribble. So every hour, it makes another one. And you can see how this is leading up so Hour 2, there's 4. Hour 3, there's
Okay,
8, and so on and so forth. This can rapidly get out of hand.
Sure.
In fact, we'll get to how many of them actually occur. It also has plant growth 10-foot radius.
Mm-hmm.
Now you see where things are going here. So the first hour, it's not a big deal. Oh, look, there's a Veggie bunny. And it just kind of hops along and trees start sprouting and grass grows. Hour 2, there's 2 of them, and they're going off in different directions. Hour 3, now there's 4 of them, and they're going off in different directions. Pretty soon you've got a primeval forest in your backyard.
Sure. Sounds like fun to me.
They also get freedom of movement.
Okay.
Now, the good part is they're only active in the daytime, so it's all good with that. After 12 hours of sunlight, this is on average,
Right.
there are
Well,
roughly
it's equinox, so makes sense.
roughly about 4,095 of these things with a 10-foot radius of plant growth.
I was doing the
freedom of
math on
movement.
that.
Yeah. Now, they only live for 1 day, so they all die at the end of the day except the original rabbit. And that one continues the process every day if you don't get rid of it. So you can see how this could rapidly repopulate a world with plants and trees and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you hunt this thing at night.
Yes, or as soon as possible.
Right. So how do you get rid of this guy?
The Veggie rabbit can be banished to its plane by simply picking it up off the ground. That's how you defeat it. You pick it up, it disappears. Bam, done. Merely touching it stops the plant growth.
Okay.
So it's very easy to defeat. I would say it's almost too easy to defeat.
You have to pick it up off the ground, but it has freedom of movement.
Well, there's that.
What is the ecology with this little monster?
This creature comes from a rift in the deep, ancient part of the Feywild and is responsible for the magical restoration of primeval forests.
It's just doing its job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Veggie rabbits sometimes spontaneously crop up when civilizations are far too industrialized, or when old forests are threatened, or when spring festivals are particularly uninteresting.
Because it's from the Feywild.
Sure. That's it. Rift in the Feywild appears. It hops through. Doop, 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 doop. Oh, look. There's grass growing. There's never grass growing in this desert. Next thing you know, the desert becomes this just gigantic oasis.
Sure. I got to be honest. Having one of these crop up in Atlanta wouldn't break my heart.
No, I could do with some urban renewal.
Indeed.
And the moral of this is it's a sign of taking care of things when they start.
Gotcha. Okay.
You put it off too long, and you got a forest in your backyard.
Out of curiosity, is this about like weeding your garden and stuff like that?
It could be all kinds of things, right?
That's cool. I like it.
All right, so the next one up.
I want one.
Yeah. Me too. I think that'd be kind of neat. The next one we have is the void worm, Matt. Tell me about the void worms.
All right. So for the holiday, it's going to be the summer solstice or any eclipse of the sun.
Oh, cool. Okay.
As the sun reaches its zenith in the sky, you spy a dark black spot above. This speck drifts closer, and you can see a massive worm-shaped creature composed of shadowy tendrils flying towards you.
Spooky.
As it comes closer, all light is extinguished until the area is plunged into perpetual darkness.
I love everything about this. It's a big, gigantic flying worm.
Indeed.
That sucks light.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, this is a cool monster. I love the idea of having a festival around the summer solstice or a solar eclipse. I think that's really awesome.
Me too. There aren't a lot of modern summer solstice style festivals. There's just, summer break for school, but other than that.
That's about it, really. Yeah. DMs, throw some into your game.
That's right. Get on it.
All right. What are the stats of these things?
It's basically a purple worm plus a shadow creature.
Because this is not something that you just throw some small level characters at.
No. Not willy-nilly.
Not with a purple worm stat.
Right.
So I see this giant purple worm with like tendrils where its back end is. It kind of just turns into shadow the further away it gets.
Mm-hmm.
Like a giant windsock.
Indeed. Sure.
That'd be cool. All right. What kind of stuff can it do aside from being a purple worm?
If left alone, it will literally steal the light out of the world permanently.
Oh, that's great. I mean, not great for the characters, but great. What a great starter. It's like all the light has been stolen from our world. There you go. There's the campaign.
There's the start of your apocalypse.
Yeah, start it out, right?
It eats light. It is literally healed by radiant damage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also immune to necrotic damage.
Great. Just great.
It will spin off vortices of darkness. Basically treat these like uncontrolled air elementals, but with a negative slam attack instead of either blunt or lightning or what have you.
Oh, so it does like necrotic damage.
Yes.
All right.
And it also has Mouth of the Void. Basically, the inside of their gullet is part of the negative material plane. And DMs can, do what you want with that.
Yeah, have fun with that, DMs. That's going to be swallowed up. You're in the negative material plane, guys. What? How did I do that? Well, you got swallowed by a void worm.
Indeed.
Great.
Maybe that's how you make liches in your world. That'd be...
Get swallowed by a void worm?
Yeah.
Think about that. That'd be great. What's the ecology or story behind the void worm?
On the longest day of the year, or during an eclipse,
Sure.
these creatures spring from the Shadowfell to feast on light sources representing the transition of seasons. Some believe voidworms are harbingers of fell shades or entities in light-hating realms.
So maybe machinations of the shades, like the Shadowvar or something, produce these things? Or maybe they're just constructs of the Shadowfell?
It could be, in a lot of cosmologies, the other planes are always attempting to take over the prime material.
Yep.
So this could just be one of the Shadowfell's methodologies of attempting to do it.
Yeah, some kind of incursion.
Yeah. Perhaps they're just hoping the worm's consumption of the sun's light will cause it to disappear forever. What if they just keep getting... we discussed they feed off of radiant energy, right? What if they just keep getting large enough to eventually...
Eat the sun?
Eat the sun.
That is what a great elder evil now.
Yeah.
It just ate the sun. Doesn't eat anything else. Just eats light, right?
Yeah.
But it ate the sun. What are you going to do about that? Well, you want to start an epic level campaign off? Here you go. Go find the sun. It's in the void. So get swallowed by that worm and transverse the negative material plane. Think about it. Who roaming around the negative energy plane? Hanging out with liches and vampires and stuff?
I was just... The legend of the Shining Citadel and the Shadowfell. What if one of these things succeeded somewhere and it's literally the leftover sun is where the Shining Citadel comes from?
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, what a great way to maybe bring that into your game, too. All right, what's the moral of the void worm, Matt?
Well, this takes place on the summer solstice, right? Which is the longest day of the year leading to shorter times. So realistically, the moral is winter is coming.
Yeah, I love that.
And you, for your part, have decided to also jump on the chaos wheel. Tell me about cake gremlins.
So this isn't just any holiday. This could be a birthday, celebration, or just cake time. If you want to have cake time, this is cake time.
Anytime there's cake.
Cake gremlins.
Okay.
So the description is as follows. As the party goes from dull to duller, a sudden disturbance can be heard near the refreshments. Out from the cake pops a tiny neon pink gremlin with a neon green mohawk.
Okay.
Just fluorescent
Oh,
green.
yeah.
Fluorescent pink. He shakes frosting off his ears, grabs a large chunk of confection, and immediately lobs it at the nearest person.
Okay. What are the stats like on these guys?
Well, like it says on the description, it's a cake-flinging monster. It just makes parties worse.
Worse.
Or better. So it has the following abilities. First off, pyrotechnics for any lit source, like candles.
Candles, sure.
Yeah, it just makes, some pyrotechnics go off. It has regenerating cake abilities. Specifically, it can throw way more cake than is actually there.
Fantastic.
And by the way, we use the term cake very loosely. It could be bagels, it could be donuts, it could be any type of baked confection.
I mean, a pancake is a cake, technically.
Pancake day would also be fine. They could show up at the Waffle House, start throwing waffles all over the place. Wherever there's a little bit of a revelry that's boring, that's where the cake gremlin will be.
Okay.
It can also spike liquids, for example, such as a punch bowl.
Sure.
Doesn't do any harm. It just makes it boozy.
Although at the IHOP, that could be fun.
That would be hilarious.
It just spikes all the carafes of coffee.
It has an aura of irritation, which provides which you need a will save for.
Okay.
Those within 10 feet of the cake gremlin are more prone to snap at others, and more importantly, snap at the host of the party.
Sure.
Again, makes it more interesting, right? They have pastry portal. They can teleport into any baked good.
Fantastic.
The problem is they displace pieces of the baked good, so you can tell. So when they teleport in, you'll see like a donut hole pop out or something.
Right.
If the cake gremlin is damaged or really wants to make an impression on the party, it unleashes its stunning spray. It is a concussive blast of confetti and glitter.
Sure it is.
No damage, but it'll never come out of the carpet. In fact, I would say that because you and I know how glitter works and, and any type of confetti, it probably requires magical cleaning.
Absolutely. What's the ecology or the story behind these guys?
Common gatecrashers to birthdays, cake gremlins can also infect all baked goods of celebration, including weddings, anniversaries, retirement parties, and so forth. Honestly, anywhere there's revelry to be found.
As long as they got pastries.
Yeah. These creatures seem to be magically able to discern if a party is turning out well or not, and hone in with laser precision to parties which need a little bit of mood altering. They find bad parties and make them worse.
Sure. Or better.
Or better.
Depending on your point of view.
I love these things.
Oh, what's the moral behind these?
Don't be bridezilla.
Okay.
That's pretty much the gist of it.
Right.
You need to take things less seriously. These creatures arrive when the party is too serious, so enjoy the party for what it is and don't worry about perfection.
Gotcha. Just have a good time.
Have a good time at the party you're hosting. Don't freak out.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you're supposed to have a party for, right?
Right.
So there you have it. 6 wonderful holiday-issued horrors for you to use in your campaign of choice or baked good.
Absolutely.
Any questions or comments, hit us up at Goblins Corner on Twitter. Did you enjoy this program? We hope so. Subscribe to the podcast on your favorite player, YouTube and Twitch.
Click the 5 stars, give us a review on iTunes, Podchaser, and on YouTube. Hit the like and subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell. It helps get our show in front of more people, and it feeds the hungry algorithm.
Which is currently blotting out the sun and preparing to steal all the light from your souls.
Yeah, I mean, that's very algorithmic behavior.
Yeah, YouTube. That's all the time we have for tonight. Once again, my name is Eric.
And I'm Matt.
We'll see you next time.
Good night, folks.
The Goblins Corner is written and produced by Eric Holden and Matt Staples.
Show song by the Mighty D20.
What a wonderful guy.
This is a Subterranean production.
The end.